Before the first thread of sunlight could weave its way through the Istanbul skyline, Aisha was already awake. The world outside her window remained draped in the soft, deep indigo of pre-dawn, a quiet canvas awaiting the day's first brushstroke of light. She sat up slowly, a gentle stillness settling over her as she whispered, "Bismillah, in the name of God," her first thought a connection to the divine. The air was cool and hushed, the city's usual symphony of sounds still slumbering. She moved with a practiced grace, her bare feet making no sound on the worn wooden floors, heading towards the small washroom to perform wudu, her intention for the blessed day of Jummah already forming in her heart, like a silent, sincere prayer. The water felt cool and cleansing against her skin as she performed her ablution. Each ritual movement, washing her hands, washing her face, washing her arms, was a deliberate act of purification, washing away not just the remnants of sleep, but also the worries of the week. She felt a profound sense of calm descend upon her, a feeling of being refreshed from the inside out. With the first faint glow of dawn now warming the edges of the window pane, she could feel the day's potential unfolding. Today was not just any day, it was Friday, a day of gathering, a day of mercy, a day of special blessings, and she wanted to meet it with a clean body and a clear, focused spirit. Later in the morning, Aisha performed ghusl, the full ritual washing that is recommended for Jummah. This was more than a simple bath. It was an act of deep spiritual cleansing, a preparation of the entire self to stand before God in the communal prayer. She took her time, the warm water a comforting embrace, her intention to purify her heart as well as her body. Afterward, she carefully selected her clothes for the day. She chose a long, modest skirt in a soft olive green, and a simple cream-colored blouse. Her hijab, a beautiful scarf with a delicate floral pattern, was her final touch. She wrapped it neatly, ensuring it was both modest and elegant, a quiet expression of her respect for the sanctity of the day. Once dressed, she went to check on her family, the heart of her home. The gentle aroma of menemen and freshly baked simit now filled the air. Her husband was at the stove, smiling as he stirred the eggs and tomatoes, while her children, a boy of 8 and a girl of 10, were laughing softly as they set the table with colorful plates. Aisha's heart swelled with a quiet, profound joy. She kissed each of her children on the forehead and offered her husband a warm smile, handing him the warm bread she had picked up yesterday.
Remember to be extra kind today. Jummah is a day for gentle words and big hearts.
Before it was time to leave for the mosque, Aisha turned her attention to another cherished Jummah tradition: charity. On a small table in the hallway, she had laid out several small packages. She had baked extra pastries this morning, and she wrapped them in simple paper, tying each with a string. These were for her elderly neighbors, a small token of care. In a separate, larger bag, she placed a container of hearty lentil soup and a loaf of bread, a meal she had prepared for a family in their neighborhood who was facing hardship. She remembered the Prophet's teachings on the importance of looking after one's community, and this simple act of giving filled her with a deep sense of purpose and connection. As she stepped out of her home, the midday sun cast a warm, golden light over the cobbled streets of her Istanbul neighborhood. Almost immediately, she was greeted by a chorus of "Assalamu alaikum" from other women making their way toward the mosque. Daughters, young women, mothers with children, older women, women of all ages and backgrounds, formed a gentle stream of devotion. They walked together, their conversation a low, happy hum, sharing news and offering encouragement. The path was lined with old stone buildings and shops, their windows displaying everything from bright textiles to gleaming copper pots. Above it all, the grand minaret of the local mosque rose against the clear blue sky, a beacon calling the faithful together. Inside the magnificent mosque, the air was cool, smelled faintly of rosewater and of old carpets. Aisha and her friends made their way to the women's section, a spacious upper balcony that overlooked the main prayer hall. They found a spot and sat on the soft red carpet, the intricate patterns guiding them into neat rows. A low murmur of Quranic recitation played softly through the speakers, a soothing sound that washed over the congregation. Aisha closed her eyes for a moment, absorbing the collective sense of peace and devotion. Around her, women were greeting each other with soft smiles and with quiet hugs. Soon, the imam's voice, clear and resonant, began the khutbah. He spoke of patience and of gratitude, reminding the congregation of the temporary nature of worldly struggles. Aisha listened intently as he recited a verse from the Quran. Indeed, prayer prohibits immorality and wrongdoing, and the remembrance of Allah is greater. Quran 29:45. The sermon was a gentle, heartfelt reminder to live with integrity, to be just in their dealings. The afternoon unfolded with the same gentle rhythm as the morning. Back at home, the family gathered for a special Juma meal. Aisha had prepared a feast of flavors: tender lamb stew, fluffy pilaf rice adorned with almonds, a fresh shepherd salad, and for dessert, slices of sweet, syrupy reveni. The table was a vibrant tapestry of food and fellowship. Her husband's brother and his family had joined them, and the house was filled with the happy sounds of conversation and children's soft laughter. Before eating, they raised their hands together in gratitude, thanking Allah for the blessings of food, family, and faith. This shared meal was a cornerstone of their Friday, a time to reconnect and celebrate the day's special spirit. Later, as the afternoon sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the garden, Aisha fulfilled the final charitable act she had planned for the day. She took the bag of soup and bread and walked a few streets over to the small apartment of a family she knew. She didn't stay long, respecting their privacy, but she delivered the food with a warm smile and a quiet prayer for their well-being. This simple act of giving was not for recognition, but was a private transaction between her and her Lord, an expression of gratitude for her own blessings. The lightness she felt in her heart on the walk home was its own reward, a quiet joy that radiated from within.